Now let's do one last thing that I'm just going to throw at you here. We always like to talk about prospects and where they're going to play. We always want to know, hey, are they coming over to North America? Are they making the jump to professional hockey? Well, we did get a couple of answers courtesy of Matt Wenzel, who was at prospect camp over the last couple of days. He said Melvin Fernstrom expected to go back to Sweden. He said Tanner Howe expected to start this year, as he's also recovering from a torn ACL, with the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins and start his journey in professional hockey. And the last one was Mikhail Ilyin, who was expected to head back to the KHL for the 2025-26 season. So you hear those three names, where they're going. Fernstrom going back over to Europe, Ilyin going back over to the KHL, but Tanner Howe coming to the AHL this year. What are your thoughts on those three?
I don't have too much. I know there's good stuff coming from the prospect camp. It's all looking forward to the future. And however each player decides and however the front office decides is the best way for each of them to continue to elevate, continue to progress. I'm cool with it. And they're all coming off of a pretty big week at the Penguins development camp in terms of, hey, there's 13 new faces here. You're all fighting to kind of not necessarily be the face of the organization going forward, but you're all fighting to become pieces of this bright future that Kyle Dubas and we continue to hype up for the city of Pittsburgh.
Now, the one I'm very excited about is Tanner Howe. He didn't have a great post-draft season last year, dealt with a couple of injuries before being traded to the Calgary Hitmen. And of course, we all know the Penguins drafted Ben Kindle, who was his line mate in Calgary in the first round this year. But I'm excited to see him play some pro hockey. This is a guy that I don't think a lot of people were talking about last year, specifically because he did miss a lot of time with injuries and because he was playing all the way out in Calgary. But I'm excited to see what him and pro hockey looks like together at the AHL level. I mean, last year we got the opportunity to see Tristan Brose play his first complete season in professional hockey. And I'm excited to see, Tanner Howe kind of join that group and see how he assimilates to a game against men, because he's a guy who, while undersized, plays a lot bigger than he is. And I want to see what that looks like in practice. So shout out again to Matt Wenzel of the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, who tweeted all that out after he spoke with Penguins personnel today about the futures of those three players. And really excited to see where things turn out as all of those prospects return for the Prospects Challenge here in about a month and a half in Buffalo. That's always a fun tournament and always a time that you get to watch and see where these guys are at going into the 25-26 season before they disperse to their various corners of the world.
The Penguins draft class from this past year could put up half of the lineup.
Yeah, just honestly, the first round is probably going to be more than half of the starting lineup.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be fascinating to see sort of what these players look like beginning their mold together, beginning their process of we're growing together as teammates, whether they are, again, set to be Penguins in the future or just muddle around until Kyle Dubas makes a real decision. They're going to be learning each other's ins and outs and seeing how it goes. I can't wait to see how many of those 13 picks make it to that camp, and then seeing how they perform from there is, the Penguins don't have much to watch in terms of NHL level stuff. If you're a Penguins fan and you're excited about the future, it'll be important to keep an eye on these kids.
And visibility is going to be a big thing with this draft class, because a vast majority of them, if not all of them, I can't remember off the top of my head, because again, there's freaking 13, are either NCAA or CHL players, or USHL as well.
They're all North America. Yeah, there wasn't a single European pick, or at least a single European-based pick.
Yes. So again, you'll have plenty of visibility for a lot of these guys, and it'll be exciting to see how they progress as the summer goes, and then, of course, as their first post-draft season goes as well. But that's going to do it for this episode of The Tip of the Ice-Burgh. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this one. Remember, you can find us on YouTube at Tip of the Ice-Burgh. Make sure that you like, share, subscribe. It's free, doesn't cost you anything, and it helps us out a whole heck of a lot. Or if you prefer an audio version, you can find us absolutely anywhere you get your podcast from. We'll see you guys next time.